but were great for this year. Whether it had a stellar box office or not, if we personally thought it was a great movie, we put it on this list. First up, this is Jedi's, I believe. Dungeons and Dragons, Godzilla minus one, Totally Killer, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Equalizer 3.
Oh man, you had to
One
pinch
of
it off
those
really quick,
movies.
man. I heard you talking about my movies. Holy shit!
You and I had some overlap this year, Jedi.
A lot of overlap.
Yeah, got a little stain in it. Never mind. Um,
All right, keep talking. Be right.
No, yeah. So these are my picks. I don't know if we were supposed to put these in any order or not. So I will try to put these in the order that I submitted them. Totally Killer is a very fun movie on Amazon Prime. It's if you like the '80s and you like slasher movies and kind of '80s humor. This has got a lot of '80s references. So yeah, this was a good movie for me to watch because, like I said, child of the '80s. I found this pretty fun to watch. I see Equalizer 3. Spoiler alert! It's been out for a while now. Just kind of it's just kind of the final chapter of the Equalizer. I guess we'll call it trilogy now. So is really good. Denzel at his best, kicking ass. It's just it's a good it's what you come to expect from the Equalizer movie. It's Denzel outsmarting and outmaneuvering and killing a lot of people graphically. So it was a good movie. Godzilla minus one or G minus one. This was a very recent movie, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Just say Bruce was wrong, please. That's all.
What did Bruce say? I can't remember.
He didn't like it.
Oh, he didn't like it. No, so yeah, Bruce is wrong. I like
yes,
this. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good. It was again. I didn't grow up watching because I only had 2 channels to watch as a kid, so I didn't get to grow up watching all these old Godzilla movies. But this, I assumed a lot of this is kind of an homage to a lot of those older movies, but done in a more cinematic, better graphical CGI manner. So kudos to that. The only bad thing about this movie is Bruce was right. You don't really get as much Godzilla as you might expect from the old Godzilla movies. This movie is definitely about the protagonist is the Japanese fighter pilot. He's over his hero's journey and et cetera, et cetera. Dungeons and Dragons, I thought was just I put this on here because it was really a surprise. I kind of went into this movie with low expectations. I just thought it was a really fun movie. It even had an homage to the '80s cartoon, which I appreciated, even though it was small, but it was there, and that was fine for me. And I thought Rodriguez was kind of stole the show as far as she was really good in this movie as the barbarian. I thought she was probably the best character. Very good. Probably one of my. If I had to pick, obviously, you got your Fast and Furious, her fame there, but I thought she did really well in this movie. She was funny. She was just, she was the muscle. She was good. And then Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie was probably the one movie I look forward to more than anything in 2023 was that final chapter in the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's hard for me to say this is the best movie out of the entire MCU run because you do have Civil War, Endgame, etc. But this movie was really good. Definitely top 3 as far as the MCU, all the MCU movies, in my opinion. This movie was really good. We talk a lot recently about cinematic events, or I forget what word you guys use for it, but these where you throw a lot of money at a promotion, a big,
Yes.
I thought this movie was it. I thought it lived up to the hype. It was a roller coaster of emotion all the way through it. So definitely this would be my number 1 movie of 2023. That's all I got.
Nice. Next up, Dungeons and Dragons, Ballerina, Totally Killer, Extraction 2, and Marlowe. Take it away.
Jedi and I were on the same wavelength. Dungeons and Dragons and Totally Killer. They were both surprising movies for me. Like I said, I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons person, so I didn't have high expectations seeing that, but I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I got a lot of good laughs out of it. Chris Pine is always enjoyable. He's not as great as his father was in Chips, but I still enjoy him. Totally Killer was a lot of fun as well for kind of the 80s nostalgia. And also, sometimes it's fun to see the little generational thing where you got somebody from this generation going back to like the 80s, early 90s, and that kind of juxtaposition of a person from the future going in the past and having to deal with that. It was fun. It was a fun movie. Ballerina, thank you, Perp, wherever you may be. Perp, I thank Perp for pointing this movie out. It was absolutely, I think it was my favorite movie of the year so far. If you like a movie where it's somebody did me wrong, now I'm going to go find that person and kill everybody, it's the perfect movie. Granted, you have to deal with subtitles, but it's well worth the subtitles. It's beautifully shot. It's a beautiful movie. Great movie. Extraction 2 was just fun. I liked Extraction 1. I liked Extraction 2. It's just a damn good action movie. You knew what you were walking into. You got what you wanted. End of story. And I was happy with that. And Marlowe, I like a good kind of 1930s detective story. I like Raymond Chandler type stuff, and this is Raymond Chandler's Marlowe.
I'm eager for Liam Neeson, where he's not like a taking type character, that template. I'm so sick of those movies.
He is so perfect cast as Philip Marlowe because
I like Liam, and I'm just so sick of him doing those movies.
He play as a guy who's a ex-cop that's old now. He's a private detective. It's proper casting for Liam Neeson. He still gets to beat the shit out of some people, but it feels appropriate.
I love the poster there too. That's great.
And it's a Neil Jordan movie, and he's fantastic. It's good. It's good all around. I definitely highly recommend it. If you like anything that's like set in 1930s Los Angeles, like your Chinatowns, or the Perry Mason series was very good on HBO this year as well. That kind of stuff. It's great. It's a good watch.
Nice. Next up,
it's nice to see Liam Neeson get age appropriate casting. It made me very happy for Liam Neeson this movie.
We don't like Scream, but Total Killer's a top list movie. Scream needs more 80s, I guess.
They need to do that for Scream 8. Just do Scream 80s.
Totally Killer just did the trope very well. It did the back in time travel trope extremely well. It's not supposed to take place all in the 80s. There's a time travel piece of it, so they handled it well.
Yeah, and like Joe said, a lot of the best parts of it were the realization that
no spoilers. I might watch this with my wife.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I mean, you have a Gen, what is she, Gen Z or whatever, going back and being confronted with I don't care about your feelings. You have a child of a Gen Z, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But she's being confronted with I don't care about your feelings kind of generation, and it's just like, she's like, you can't say that, and they're like,
the first tour of the movie is she can't have her phone anymore.
And she that actress since Mad Men has come into her own. The Sabrina series she did was really good. She's an enjoyable actress.
How would you compare Totally Killers to the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix?
The what?
You guys have seen Fear Street trilogy.
Totally Killer's a lot funnier.
Yeah, Totally Killers is funnier. I don't know if I finished the Fear Street trilogy.
Cool. If my wife hasn't seen this already because she loves horror, I would watch this with her.
It made me laugh a handful of times. It was a good, lighthearted horror movie. That
I don't like.
There are some things. I mean, if you go through it and you really think about it, there's some time travel things. There's some loose ends there that don't quite make sense, but you got to kind of let that go because it's not
you take
supposed to be perfect. I don't think.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Barbie, Blue Beetle, One Piece, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and The Little Mermaid. That's not the right box art, I believe. For Aquaman. For me, Barbie was a fun, great movie for this year. It really reignited people wanting to go see go back to the theaters, and the soundtrack was great. Margot Robbie, and I actually like Ryan Gosling in a movie for once. You know,
I didn't
Well,
think that's possible either, but I did too.
I know. I really don't like him as an actor.
I mean, I
usually.
don't dislike him. I'm just like blah when he's there. I'm like, okay.
Hey, Brogo. It really did something that no other movie has done with a brand that's been around for decades. It really showed that you can make a movie out of pretty much anything and it be successful if it's done right. Blue Beetle for me was a great comic book movie for me. I'm a huge fan of Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle, and a lot of the references got me for when I was a kid growing up with novellas and all the food and stuff. So great movie for me. I'm pretty much it was pretty comic book accurate for all those people that were like, it was never comic book accurate. Give it a watch. And One Piece, I've never been a fan of the anime, but I love this movie. Luffy was hilarious.
Sorry, I'm laughing at AOA's comment.
I didn't see that yet. I want to see that.
How about AOA goes? Oh, I can't say that. One Piece was amazing, and I don't know any 13-year-olds that are watching Aquaman. Well, maybe a few.
I'm sure there's plenty.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was a great buddy cop underwater adventure. The locations were beautiful. Jason Momoa was just having fun in this movie. Pretty good. And The Little Mermaid is probably my favorite movie of the year. Halle Bailey singing, acting was great. That's how you do water effects, just saying. And that was my list. So if you haven't seen these movies, give them a watch. Don't listen to what anybody says, Max. Next up, Super Mario Brothers, Indiana Jones, The Flash, Across the Spider-Verse, and The Guardians 3. This was Six's pick, but he had to go. Six and Brian had to step out. So only ones I've seen on this list is The Flash and Across the Spider-Verse and Guardians. I didn't see Super Mario Brothers or Indiana Jones. Did you guys see those two?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're fun.
I saw all the movies on that list.
I have seen all of these. Yes.
The Indiana Jones wasn't as bad as people said it was. It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as everyone said. I mean, it was a watchable movie.
I think it was great, fun.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it's Last Crusade, but it's better than Crystal Skull.
I like Crystal Skull too, though.
And people hated Crystal Skull.
I liked Mutt. I thought I would have, if what's his Shia didn't have all his issues later on. I would have loved to see Shia because Shia, I think if he would have stayed not insane, he would have been a decent adult actor too. He still is when he randomly shows up, but he would have been great to carry it on, I thought.
It was a watchable movie. Like I said, I was entertained enough.
I didn't understand all the hate for Dial of Destiny. I mean, like Joe said, it wasn't as good as probably the first 2 or 3, I guess. Definitely better than Crystal Skull. A lot of people, I think, gave it some hate because they felt like Indiana was playing the fool to the young lady, and she's supposed to be the heir apparent, and she's making him look stupid. I got
to see Karen Allen again. I was happy.
Yeah,
I got to see.
Karen there was Allen some again. Of that, but I don't think it was enough for people to hate this movie. Terrible. I mean,
well, the scenes with him and his, you mean Marion Joe's?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scenes with them were very beautiful. They were really well acted. I think some of the
Well,
best in series.
To be fair, wasn't Indiana Jones a fool in a lot of his movies?
Well, yeah, he kind of fumbled his way through
Yeah.
some of the other movies too.
No, it's not like
he
it's
definitely
something
has
new.
luck on his side. Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't understand a lot of the hate
Yeah.
for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I
it
enjoyed it.
It should have did a lot better in the movie theaters.
I was hoping Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character turn would have come a little earlier, as opposed to being a complete bitch through 90% of the movie and then turning at the last 10%.
Yeah.
She was not a likable character through 90% of the movie.
What?
They should have turned turned her a little bit earlier.
But she's got an attitude, like, you know, she's allowed to have her.
Isn't that like
she had more than attitude. She was deceptive and conniving.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Isn't that the reverse of marriage? They start out nice to become a
But I mean, I knew there was going to be a character flip at some point.
Comment.
I just wish it would have just come a little bit earlier, so that you had more time to enjoy that character as a likable character.
Oh, that was the writing, unfortunately.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, that's a small issue that I had with it. I enjoyed the movie. I was entertained. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Nice.
Mario Brothers was cute too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mario Brothers. I refuse to watch that movie. I really don't care for it. I'm not going to watch it.
I had it on at home for my kids. I'm not going to go to the theater and see it, but it was fine.
Yeah, Mario Brothers is obviously not for my generation. It's not for someone my age. I went to see it with my son, who obviously grew up with Mario Brothers, and he really liked it. He said there were a lot of homages and tributes to the games all throughout that movie. He enjoyed it a lot. So I'll take his word for it.
You know, like I was told when this movie came out on one of Max's panels, when I said this movie doesn't have a story, it's just all nostalgia bait. And I was told, who needs a story in a movie? What?
For a kids movie,
it has a story as much as Aquaman 2 does.
Yeah, you can have
Aquaman 2 is better than Mario Brothers. All right,
you could
but
you can have a simple water. It's a movie made for kids.
He saves the princess.
Look at,
but it was people made it seem like it was like next level cinema.
Aquaman saves the kingdom. Yeah,
people make superhero movies seem like their next level film, and they're not.
I don't see anything more that Aquaman 2 is giving than Super Mario Brothers here. It's the same. It's fun.